GAC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Great American Conference.
Another beautiful day here in Bentonville, Arkansas, a fantastic site for softball, and we have two games in the books already here on quarterfinal Thursday of the Great American Conference Softball Tournament Championship. Good afternoon. I'm Joey McWilliams along with Alyssa Orange. Sierra Clark is with us as well here on site at Bentonville West. We have the 2-7 matchup now. The Oklahoma Baptist Bison taking on the Southwestern Oklahoma State University Bulldogs. It's gotten to be a beautiful day, and we've seen two good games already. We've seen some dominant performances, one from the top seed in the tournament, one from the 4 seed. Also, both of those are ranked teams. They'll beat each other tomorrow. In the meantime, we have some more teams that are fighting for a spot in the NCAA tournament. The way to get there is to get that automatic bid. The 7 seed, Southwestern, the Lady Bulldogs. It's been a while since they've been to Bentonville.
First time that they've been in this tournament since 2019. They're excited to be here. It's the most wins that they've had on a season in the conference play since 2012. And so we talked to head coach. She's excited about this crew. Young, but very promising on the other side with Oklahoma Baptist. They take care of business. They're coming off regular season finishes, wins over Southern Arkansas, and so they want to carry that momentum here into the tournament.
Absolutely. And, you know, these two coaches have seen each other before, on part of the same staff at Oklahoma Baptist a few years back. Coach Jessica Boone now in her 3rd season with Southwestern, getting past that 20-win mark. You know, you mentioned that just a moment ago, 22-24 on the season. That's really, it's an accomplishment, and it's one of those things you look at the start of the year where you go, where do we need to be, and what's it going to take to get, ultimately, you want to be winning championships, but there are steps along the way, and they have reached some of those steps, including making it to Bentonville.
They did, and when we asked her about the progress under year 3, she says it's going a little slower than she wishes, but you got to be happy with the way that this team has performed this season to put them in the spot that they're in right now, and she hopes that this isn't the last game of the year.
We have an opportunity to visit with Sierra Clark now, who knows a little bit about these two teams as well before we get ready for first pitch. Sierra?
Yeah, Oklahoma Baptist head coach Jace Brewer says that he plans on bookending the lineup here. This team is the #1 squad in the conference when it comes to stealing bases, so expect speed on both ends of that batting lineup. And that's something that's what this team really leans on, so expect to see a lot of that. And as for SWOSU, they're a team that's playing hot right now. They've won 9 of their last 10 games, so it should be a pretty good matchup, guys.
All right, Southwestern and Oklahoma Baptist getting set to get things started here. Bentonville West High School facilities here in the great city of Bentonville, Arkansas. J.C. Schaefer is in the circle now for Oklahoma Baptist. She'll get things going for the Bison. Schaefer making her 30th appearance of the season. 28th start. She is 18-3. She's picked 16 complete games, has a save to her credit as well. 2.39 ERA, 164 innings pitched. And she is going to be facing Chesney Hewitt, a 5'7" senior from Delaware, Oklahoma. Looked as though she shows bunt for just a moment. Instead takes the ball.
We talked about how strong this team has finished this season and being able to put them in the position that they are in right now with those 22 wins on the year. But Chesney Hewitt, a big part of that in the month of April, Joey, hitting .404 in the month of April. A big April for her to help get this team here to the tournament.
Absolutely, and so with a 2-0 count right now, she's ahead in the count in the early going as Schaefer looking to find the range. Hewitt lays down the bunt. It takes a perfect drop, and coming up quickly to get that was going to be Marshall. Marshall can't get there in time, and Hewitt reaches base on the bunt. A single to get things started for the Bulldogs. Taylor McMahon now batting for Southwestern. McMahon catching, batting second from Yukon, Oklahoma. Joe's bunt lays that down as well to the third base side. The runner will advance to second, and McMahon is thrown out on the 5-3. Runner advances as Coach Boone looking to try to manufacture a run here in the early going. Small ball. Jaden Hook now batting for Southwestern. Hook, a 5'7" senior from Tishomingo, Oklahoma. Hook followed by Lusk, Boline, Barkley, Weedle, Mershon, and Rempel to round out the Southwestern starting lineup here. The 1-0 count. And that one taken for a strike. 1-1 now the count. In the field behind Schaefer. Cook in left field, Green in center, Hacker in right. It's Marshall at first, Davis at second, Wells at short, Ryan at third, and Laskowski catching for Schaefer as that one is fouled back. 1-2 now the count. Jaden Hook on the season, hitting .310. One of 4 players for Southwestern playing in and starting in their 47th game this season. Again, the Bulldogs 22 and 24 overall. That one may just drift beyond playability there. Hacker trying to chase it down, can't catch up to it. 2-2 now the count. Nice crowds on hand here at Bentonville West. Bentonville's been the site of the Great American Conference Tournament for a number of years. They're on the ground, the throw from short to third. The tag is made in time. Lead runner out as Hewitt will now take a seat, and Hook reaches the second batter in a row by way of the fielder's choice.
Hewitt knew it too. Obviously didn't have to go because she was just on second with no one on first, and after she got up sliding there at third base, she looked at head coach Boone and kind of tapped her chest. My bad.
Hate to lose a runner like that. If you're Southwestern, you want to take advantage of every opportunity. Riley Lusk swings on that first pitch. A dribbler to throw to third. The throw is in time. That's a nice throw by Ryan to get there. A single, and then batters are retired in order after that. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on base. Back in a moment with the bottom of the first here from Bentonville.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but strength, knowledge, and wisdom are what you build along the way. There's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, you write your own script to what comes next. So here's your cue. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
We mentioned a beautiful day here in Bentonville. We're actually a little bit west of Bentonville now, the appropriately named Bentonville West High School, I would imagine.
Yes.
And you see the Southwestern Lady Bulldogs heading out of the field. Oklahoma Baptist getting ready to bat. Cook, Hacker, and Green on the way. And Alyssa, the wind's shown up a little bit here.
It has. It's died down a little bit. It was much windier this morning, but blowing into the right. And when you're a batter, you're going to have to fight that wind with it blowing in that way. You ideally want it to blow out, and so it can help carry that ball a little bit. We've seen a couple home runs, though, so it's not impossible today if you can battle that wind and hit the ball out of here.
In the circle for Southwestern, Alexis Taylor making her 31st appearance, 29th start on the season. We talked about Cook batting, and she finds a way to get that one, finds a gap between in left center, and she is going to slide in for a triple. That is some great running by Cook, and Oklahoma Baptist quickly with a runner in scoring position. That didn't take long at all.
Really setting the tone, just being aggressive, because if you can set that tone early, then you're basically telling Southwestern, all right, you're going to have to try to stop us. And so if you can dictate the tempo a little bit offensively, that's a great way to start it. For Taylor on the mound, the freshman has had such a good season for the Bulldogs, 3.41 ERA, 14-10 on the season. She's got 106 Ks, and so if the freshmen don't let that rattle you, that triple that you just let off with, kind of take that deep breath in the circle, get back to what you know how to do.
Coach Brewer said he was going to be starting 4 freshmen today in this Bison squad. Here's one of those right now, and Haley Hacker fouls that one back. Hacker, a 5'7" freshman from Prague, put her high school ball at North Rock Creek, a relatively new high school on the scene in the state of Oklahoma. We'll look back really quickly as Alyssa talked about those numbers from Alexis Taylor. 31st appearance, 29th start. She's had 2 saves this year, but pitched 7 complete games. It looked like it might have gotten away from her just a bit. 137 2/3 innings pitched and struck out that 106 that you talked about. Opponent's batting average is just 277. So the 1-2 now on the is ready for Hacker. Watches that one high, 2-2. Hacker is someone not only who can hit the ball, but knows what to do after she gets the hit. She's had 28 hits this season, but 29 runs. Full count, and here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, and Taylor does settle down after.
Great response.
After that triple, exactly. One down, and that will take us to the 2025 Great American Conference Player of the Year in Sammy Green, 5'8" senior. Came to Oklahoma Baptist from Clovis, California at Emmanuel High School. She was all GAC second team in both 2023 and 2024. She was a player of the week once in 2023 and once in 2024. And 2025, she just had a great year. Hitting .396, which is tops on the team for OBU, 4th in the GAC, and 11 home runs. She's also one of those players that when she gets on base, she can make things happen. 36 stolen bases in 39 attempts. The grounder to third, the look back, and then the throw from Mershon over to Lusk in time. Green will take a seat, 2 down. Cook remains at third.
What a grab there by Ryan, not only to save a run, but get the out. Now you've got 2 out. You can take a deep breath, get 1 more out, and then that triple threat that started off this inning might not be as impactful as it felt like it was when it happened.
Morgan Max now batting that cleanup spot as Max, a 5'6" senior from Moore, Oklahoma. A D1 transfer as she was at UT Arlington for her freshman year. And since becoming a member of the Oklahoma Baptist Bison, she started every game over the last 3 years. That one on the ground and outside. Amazingly called a ball. Right down the middle,
Great
finds the range
off-speed
again.
pitch there. I think that just had Max frozen a little bit. She wanted to swing at it, and then the timing was just a little off and froze in the box.
2 down here in the bottom of the first. Runner remains at third. Here's the 1-2. Just got a bit of that one. And the count remains at 1-2. The 2025 Player of the Year was at bat a moment ago. The 2024 Player of the Year, she's batting right now, and Morgan Max fouls that one back to stay alive in this at bat. Pretty impressive for the OBU program to have back-to-back Players of the Year, and that they have been teammates as well.
Just speaks to what coach has built and the consistency and again the recruiting that they've done over there to continue to elevate the level of softball.
Max hitting .393 coming into this game. Just slightly behind that .396 from her teammate Sammy Green. Took a little bit off that pitch as well, and that puts us to 3-2. Max has been patient, 2 down. And after Cook made it to third, she has stayed there, at least for the time being. Here's the payoff pitch. That one outside, and Max will take her base. Seniors had 53 RBI this year to lead her team. She'll be content now just to get on. Greenlee Wells now batting. The shortstop for Oklahoma Baptist, a junior, 5'9" junior from Vian. Watches that one through for a ball. Twice this year she's been named the Player of the Week. Back in February and late April as well. So as we mentioned, Alexis Taylor, the freshman, has slowed down a little bit. Found her rhythm, found her pace. But to the credit of these Bison batters, they've been working these at-bats. They want to make her throw as many pitches as possible. Greenlee Wells, a transfer from Eastern Oklahoma State College in Wilburton. And Wells will watch 4 consecutive balls, and now the bases are loaded. Becomes a little bit tighter now for Taylor as Ryan steps to the plate. Allie Ryan, a junior from Frisco, Texas. Coach Boone will come out, as will the infield, and have a discussion quickly with Taylor. Oklahoma Baptist 2-1 against Southwestern this year. 2 one-run games. Bison won the first with Schaefer in the circle, 3-2. Won the second with Max in the circle, 8-4. Bulldogs earned game 3 win. That was a 2-1 victory for SWOSU. So after the discussion, Allie Ryan now to bat. Ryan, 138 at-bats this year. It's 4th on this OBU roster. Watches that one low, a little bit inside. Allie Ryan hits .246. Starting and playing in her 50th game this year. Missed just 1 contest for Oklahoma Baptist. Bison 34-16 on the year. 4 players playing in their 51st game right now. 3 of them starting in their 51st. As that one's fouled back. Sammy Green, Morgan Max, and Greenlee Wells They've all been there for Coach Brewer in every single game and started all of them this year. Cook and Ryan, both with 49 to their credit. That one down the middle for a strike, and Allie Ryan will take a seat. The scoring threat is nullified, and the Bison do not put a run on the board. There's a hit. There are 3 left on base, but there were no runs scored. 1 complete here from Bentonville West. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
It's your moment. It's your moment.
It's your moment.
It's your moment. It's your moment.
It's your moment.
At East Central University, we educate.
Boline, Barkley, and Weedle on the way. Gotta love the view. And there's the offering from Schaefer. J.C. Schaefer, a junior from Surreal, a former Pirate. There at Surreal High School. Ground ball to short. The throw is not going to be in time, and Boline will reach. Katie Boline, the grad student from Wichita, Kansas, with a single in her first at bat this afternoon. That brings us to Kaylee Barkley, a senior also from Anaheim, California.
We talked about that big April here for Southwestern. Katie Boline, a big part of that as well, and batting .432 in the month of April. And I think that speed has a lot to do with it. What do you think?
Absolutely. Might have been a question for somebody. I mean, Wells has a pretty good arm, but Boline able to beat that out. Barkley's played all 4 years at Southwestern. She's hitting .333 now, 3rd on the team in that category. She's had a pair of sacrifice flies as well. Former Esperanza Aztec.
We're just going to make a list of mascots.
I'm telling you, I think that one's a pretty good one.
That is.
I don't think we have any Aztecs in Oklahoma or Arkansas.
I don't think so.
Foul back. Count it now 2-2. Nobody out here with Boline in first.
Kaylee coming into this game on a 9-game hit streak. Trying to make it 10 here in the opening game of the conference for Southwestern.
Val keeps the count at 2-2. Top seed Southern Arkansas with a victory in our previous game over the 8th seed Henderson State, 9-3 the final. And Barkley rips that one to left field. The
Make it
single,
10.
yeah, the single advances Boline to second. That brings us to Emily Weedle. Weedle, a junior from Whitewater, Kansas. just say right now, this game has a little bit slower pace than either of the previous two games today.
It does.
I don't know if I could say the pitching is a little bit more deliberate. I think that's probably not the best description, but they're really, really taking their time with every pitch.
Well, I think that's a personal preference too, you know, depending on the pitcher and the style and their relationship with their catcher. You know, you've seen pitchers who just immediately step back on that mound. They're ready to go. They don't have a lot that they have to kind of go through routine-wise, and it feels like both of these pitchers are a little more methodical with their approach.
Count 2-1 now. And again, Coach Boone looking to try to manufacture runs. Small ball in play here. Whatever these Bulldogs can do to push a runner around. Bowling at second, Barkley at first. Weedle hitting .220 on the year. Just 9 hits this season. And here's the 3-2. Fouled back. Out of play, and it's just now time for school to be out at Bentonville West.
Already.
Which, well, I know, but we're looking at 3:55, and most places in Arkansas and Oklahoma have their school time at a little bit different setup.
When we were getting here around 9 o'clock, school was, I think, just starting.
It's just starting,
Still
yeah.
drop off around 9 this morning.
Weedle takes a seat after the strikeout, and that is out number 1. And just to put a bow on that, here at Bentonville West, the school hours are 8:55 to 3:55. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a different shift. It almost feels like it's in a different time zone. Shalon Mershon now batting for Southwestern. Mershon hitting .237 on the year. A senior from Sulphur. Made her way to Southwestern by way of Murray State. Going to the count with 1 down. That's a little high. Talked about the deliberate style that's come into play with each of these pitches, but they're also important in a game like this when Southwestern clearly is wanting to be aggressive on the base path. Just get a runner on, move that runner across. That one fouled and it's not going to be playable into the Southwestern.
Yeah, you know, too, as a batter, when the pitcher dictates the time like that, you really got to focus on making sure that you have your timing together.
Mershon hits that well down the bat, and it's going to be easily playable at third. Ryan steps over to make the catch. 2 down now, and the runners who reached in back-to-back singles remain at second and first. Avery Rimple now batting, 5'6" freshman from Altus. Rimple hitting just 160 on the year. Behind that just a bit. 0-2 now the count with 2 down. Rimple has 12 hits and 12 runs this year. Just 2 RBI. Infield playing in. 2 outs here. Ready to sell out to try to get that final out. And now Davis steps back. She's deep. The rest of the infield is in.
You mentioned for Oklahoma Baptist, the 4 freshmen they're playing in right field, left field, first base, and second base. This is the lone freshman in the lineup for Southwestern here with Rimmel.
Fouled off as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. She's had those 2 strikes in this count for quite a while. Fouled as well. Again, 2 games this season in which it was a 1-run contest, and those were 3-2 and 4-2, excuse me. The ground ball to third, and it's not cleanly played by Ryan. Gets through the glove, and Rimple is able to get to first base, and now the bases are loaded with 2 down.
Big time break there for Southwestern. Now an opportunity with bases loaded back to the top of the lineup. Can they take advantage, score a run here over the number 2 seed?
So we go back to the top of the lineup. Chesty Hewitt had a single back in the first. The bases are loaded. It's going to be an E5 is how that is registered here. 376 on the season for Hewitt, 33 RBI on the year. She leads her team in that category. Has 8 home runs this year as well. Just recorded her 60th hit of the season back in the first inning. (2-0), and that one is popped up. Davis is going to be there, makes the catch. Scoring threat comes to an end for Southwestern, but the Bulldogs do put runners on bases and show that they've come ready to play. 3 left on base, 2 hits, no runs scored. Midway through the second. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network. Marshall, Laskowski, Davis on the way for Oklahoma Baptist in the bottom of the second. And, you know, Alyssa, the 2 seed here, Oklahoma Baptist has been the 1 seed here before as well, but success has been in Bentonville has been fleeting for this Bison team since joining the Great American Conference.
History not on their side. 0-4 in GAC tournament play, and they're trying to break that streak. They're probably not thinking about it too much. Don't want to make it bigger than it is, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure here for them to win in the postseason.
That's a number that's not lost on Bison softball fans, no doubt about that, because they've another one of those teams that within the past 15 years has made the move from NAIA to Division II. As Marshall looking at a 1-1 count now. The 12th team to gain membership in the Great American Conference after moving to the Division II level. And Marshall watches another one there, 2-1 the count.
Marshall, one of the freshmen in this lineup, and when we talked to Coach before the game, he said he's just been so impressed with the freshmen who have stepped in. And then you've got a really good freshman class, he says, coming in. And so the recruiting to help Oklahoma Baptist continue to elevate their program and win in the big moments. He's excited about the future, but he's excited about these 4 freshmen too, and Mitchell's one of them. Marshall's one of them.
And rightfully so. And, I mean, you know, it's really his recruiting class now. Coach Sam Maple's there for a number of years, helped continue the success in Shawnee for Oklahoma Baptist. A nice grab. The pop-up foul to Mershon, able to make the catch. And Marshall will take a seat. Laskowski on the way. Abby Laskowski hitting .260 on the year. She has 33 hits this season and scored only 9 times. Yeah, it's Coach Brewer's squad. You know, it's his team to recruit. He knows the lay of the land there. He was an assistant under Coach Maples for 3 of those years before taking over and moving down that seat on the bench, if you will. 2-0 the count now to Laskowski. We were talking during the previous game about Coach Anderson, and Jason Anderson, the Southern Arkansas head softball coach in his 11th season with the program. There are not a lot of coaches in the GAC at this point with that kind of tenure.
That's one thing I was noticing when I was reading up about these coaches who lead all these programs. Just like Coach Boone in her 3rd year, you have Coach Brewer in his 1st year, but 4th year with the program. You know, you've got coaches who have been here 3-4 years. They're starting to build those foundations, and I'm sure a lot of them look to Coach Anderson and say, that's how you build programs.
And Laskowski will take a seat. She sits down after the strikeout. 2 down now for the Bison, bringing up Davis, who represents the bottom of the order. Kaylee Davis now batting.
You mentioned tenure too. I'm sure for Coach Anderson speaks volumes on the fact that he loves being there at Southern Arkansas and pouring into that program and has chosen not to leave.
Davis swings at the first pitch. That one drifts to right field, and the catch is made by Boleen out there. 1, 2, 3. The Bison will take a seat. No runs, no hits, and no one left on base to complete here. Quarterfinal action between the 2 seed Oklahoma Baptist and the 7 seed Southwestern Oklahoma.
Running outdoors, you got to take what nature gives you. We'd like to say we run when they don't. So we want to give you products to be able to run when you don't think you should run, when it's pouring rain outside, it's snowing. We're going to have products for you to get out there. You don't get better sitting on your butt not training. You got to get out there and run.
At Under Armour, it's always about premium textiles. They need to perform, they need to be the best. The merging of hybrid textiles with naturals and new seaming and bonding and super sleek, modern, fast, futuristic designs, that's where we are really going to turn it up a notch. If you look good and you feel good, you're going to perform better.
Bison yet to put runs on the board. Schaefer trying to keep runs off the board now as she is back in the circle for SWOSU. It's going to be McMahon, Hook, and Lusk. And don't know if he's listening or not, but I will give a shout out to former Southwestern Sports Information Director Extraordinaire Doug Self. And I believe that the Southwestern Bulldogs are representing him well today. Current Sports Information Director for Southwestern today is doing his duty for the conference. He's taking care of stats in Enid, Oklahoma at the GAC baseball tournament. Taylor McMahon hitting 273 coming in. Out at first. The throw from third to first. Well, 5-3 this time is not successful. The throw overthrown. Toss to second's not going to be in time. And so McMahon will reach second. We'll see how this is scored officially. But McMahon does reach second. A hit to third base again. She was out with a fielder's choice the first time. This time she reaches.
Heads up base running there by McMahon, and then for her to have to stop her momentum and shift it completely to second base the way that she did and still be safe at second base, that's a big lead-off double there, or single and error, depending on how it's scored.
We're waiting I'm awaiting the official score here. I know there's going to be an error involved somewhere watching that, so we'll see how that plays out.
All they care about, she's standing on second base.
Jaden Hook now batting, and she drops that right back to Schaefer, who will chase it down. The runner will advance to third, and Hook will be thrown out at first. And Sierra Southwestern, again, looking like they're trying to manufacture runs here. It's small ball for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the Dogs closed April on absolute fire. They hit over 308 as a team, and they had 5 players batting over 300. So this team is playing great softball at the right time.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're going to get things done right, at least at one point of the year, do it in April. And here, why not May, too? Lusk is going to bring in a run. The first run of the afternoon here in Game 3. Taylor McMahon with the honors as she reaches first, runs over to second after throwing error, if you will. Makes it to third off the bunt, and Lusk is going to bring her in with the single. How about that?
Off to a great start, and Sierra making great points there about just the way that they're playing. They're winners of 9 of their last 10. They're just feeling really good about themselves, and so much about softball is momentum and consistency, and they felt really good coming in here, playing the way that they played in April, and hoping this brand new start to the season in the postseason can keep it going in May.
The run goes down as an unearned run. So Schaefer not tagged with an earned run there. Still, I'm sure she wouldn't want to have that on the board. Bulldogs on top 1-0. And with one down here in the top of the third, a runner on. Bowling with a single back in the second. She was stranded on second. She will sit down after a swing and a miss there. Out number 2. And that'll bring up Kaylee Barkley. Barkley again hitting 333. That number goes up a tick after a single in the second. 2 down, runner on first. Hard cut and a swing and a miss there. Alyssa, I mean, it's definitely been the MO for the Bulldogs here. I mean, we've seen it in each inning. Just get a runner on. Just try to advance that runner. We're not looking at a power play here. You just the small ball all the way through. It's not going to be successful there carrying on through, but it starts the inning with that, and there was fruit to that small ball play. 1 run on the board. 2 hits. 1 left on base midway through the third, and Southwestern's on top here in Bentonville.
Swanson has been saying that the focus is you for 20 years. Now that I'm here, I know my voice matters.
It's a true home away from home where the professors really do put the focus on me and my dreams.
At SWASU, it feels like they are cheering me on with so many ways to get involved, like social clubs,
sports, quality academics, and great people who care about your success. For real, the focus is on you.
Open the door to your future at SWASU. Go Dogs!
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment Because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
Back to the top of the order, it'll be Cook, Hacker, and Green for Oklahoma Baptist. As remains Taylor in the circle. Not giving up a run just yet. Shut things down for Oklahoma Baptist with the bases loaded back in the first inning. And then it was 1-2-3 in the second inning as she retired those batters consecutively. She has had 4 consecutive sit down. 2-0 count right now for Cook at the top of the order. Kaylee Cook on the All-GAC second team in 2025. Freshman from Jurupa Valley, California. 5'7" freshman, played her high school ball at Norco High School. She was a Cougar there. Cook hitting .392 on the year. 39 stolen bases in 40 attempts.
That is impressive.
Absolutely. 97.5%.
And that's what Sierra, was talking about, of just bookending the lineup here with players that can steal bases. Unfortunately for Cook, she had a triple to open up the game and sat on third base and just hung out there. She wasn't able to steal any bases. So if she can get on, though, you know they're probably going to give her the thumbs up to go.
I would be interested to see, and I haven't checked these numbers, but of those 39 stolen bases, how many of them were home? That's the toughest one to get. So yeah, it's just one of those things that, you know, you get all the way to third and there's not a lot of place to go. They walk her to get her first this time. So she has a little room with which to play now. Haley Hacker now batting, freshman from Prague, Oklahoma.
You know, Taylor McMahon is ready behind the plate here. There she
There's
goes.
A throw, and it looked like it might have been in time had the catch been made. So another stolen base for Kaylee Cook. How about 40 and 41 attempts? You're
Again,
right.
that just goes to, I promise you, Taylor McMahon sitting back there knowing she's about to run anyways, and it's hard to throw anyone out who has that kind of stats when it comes to stealing bases.
Cook looked like she wanted to go again. And the infield playing in as Hacker shows bunt. And you can't design it any better than that. If you have a base stealer like Cook on second, for Hacker to show that bunt to draw the infield in and try to get everyone out of their at least design position. Shows it again. Thinks better. No one to throw back to at second unless Hewitt decides to step up all the way out of center field. So now the count at 1-2. Don't think she's going to show bunt here. But she does. Lays it down beautifully. The throw from third to first in time. Runner advances, though. Cook will move over to third. And Hacker does a fantastic job executing that perfectly.
That's the kind of confidence you have to have in the box there, because obviously bunting there, and if you don't lay that down, that is a huge missed opportunity. But for her to execute, and now, again, Cook is just chilling out over there in third base. She'd like to be able to touch home this time around, but good job by her teammate to get her over there.
Sammy Green now, GAC Player of the Year here in 2025. And if you're the Bison, you probably can't think of anyone that you want to have batting any more than having her up there. 11 home runs on the season. She just needs to put this into play. She does just that. Finds its way into left field. 1 run scores. Game's knotted at 1 now here in the third. And Sammy Green with the RBI single.
And that is what your player of the year is supposed to do in clutch situations like that, for her to come in, swing at the first pitch, poke it there into left field and tie up this ball game. She's a senior. She's been through this before, and she's not going to have her squad go down without a fight.
Morgan Max now batting. 53 RBI this year, runner on first. Max has 13 home runs. Second on the team in that category. Tied for third in the GAC. Runner is going. The throw is in time. And Green caught stealing. She'll take a seat.
Great job by McMahon there to really anticipate that. That throw was perfectly placed there for the catch and tag, just almost in one completely swift motion. Great pickup there to get her out at second.
McMahon doing a fantastic job behind the plate. And Max pulls that one. 2-1 now the count. I want to go back to when Cook was at first. And I really believe that her throw would have been in time, which is, I mean, she was ready. She knew that Cook was going to run. I think if the throw's down just a bit.
I was about to say, the one thing I think that the issue was, it was a little too high.
Yeah.
Just like the one that we saw there that got Green out. That's where she wanted it. Her release was a little too high.
Ground ball to second, and after Cook reaches with a walk, 3 consecutive batters retired. 1, 2, 3. 1 run does score, though, and it's tied up at 1. 3 complete here from Bentonville GAC softball tournament.
The professors care, and they go out of their way to make sure that you are going to succeed.
Hi, I'm Alante. I'm a sophomore at Southeastern, and we help make this video.
At Southern Arkansas University, we believe success comes from grit, showing up every day, ready to face challenges head on. It takes determination, pushing beyond limits, learning, growing, and leading with purpose. And it takes perseverance, because every setback is just another step on the path forward. That's why we were nationally ranked the #1 best small public college in Arkansas by niche. Southern Arkansas University. Grit, determination, and the ride of a lifetime.
Weedle, Mershon, Rimple on the way for Southwestern. Each team to run on the board, and quickly. Nice job, 2-3. I don't think that's exactly how Weedle drew that one up. Swinging at the first pitch, just barely gets into play, and see her try to set this one up. Wow.
Almost beat it out with her speed.
Yeah,
but
almost beat it out, but that's have to look at that again to make sure she wasn't just laying down that bunt intentionally. She put the bat on it, and it was just an awkward hit as she's thrown out in the not quite as common 2-3. 1 down. And that brings up Shalyn Mershon.
You know, this is interesting. I've been paying attention to the way that all of these batters grip the bat. And, you know, you're taught, I was taught, put your hands together. And a handful of them have that little bit of separation there on the bat. And I'm so intrigued by how helpful that could be into shortening up their swing a little bit, maybe getting that bat speed a little faster. It's new to me, though. Gonna have to do some investigating.
Could be a different feel there in Weatherford That one popped up. Not as effective as Mershon wanted that one to be. Fly out to 2nd and 2 down here in the top of the 4th. Things change some over time too. I mean, you know, it's interesting to see how these things happen. So
that's a huge gap, and it feels more like a slap.
Well,
know?
and it was there, and in that case in particular, she did slap at that one.
That's her tell a little bit.
Line to 3rd, 3 up, 3 down. We are midway through this game here in Bentonville. It's still 1-1, 2 seed and the 7 seed fighting to advance.
One of the fastest growing universities in the state and the region, Southeastern Oklahoma State University, has classes for bachelor's, master's, and certificate programs. Over 45 degree programs are available with in-person, online, and hybrid options. With a legacy of excellence dating back to 1909, our dedicated faculty and staff are here to make your legacy a great one. Your future starts here at Texoma's University.
Coach Jace Brewer seems to be comfortable out there. His first season at the helm as the head coach there for Oklahoma Baptist. As I believe my opinion on music is going to get me departed from the press box. Swing there on the first hit, and Wells will reach base with a stand-up double.
We're just trying to help you out here.
Thank you. Greenlee Wells, you know, that's one of those things too, by the way. We go to where she is. She's going to take the shin guard off right there and be able to free herself up to run a little bit more. The junior from Bayan, who makes her way to Shawnee from Eastern Oklahoma. She was a Mountaineer there for a couple of years. She's one of those people that we talked about, Sammy Green and Morgan Max, with Coach Brewer. He spoke about her like she was kind of a missing piece.
Yeah.
As the bunt laid down, Wells will advance to 3rd. Ryan does her job, and now Oklahoma Baptist in position with 1 down.
And Greenlee's been such a weapon for them at the plate. Leads the team in home runs with 15. That was her 16th double, where she leads the team in that stat as well. And so for her, she's almost that complimentary 1-2 punch, her and Sammy Green.
Michelle Marshall now batting. And with Wells at 3rd base, Sierra, what do you know about what she brings to the table?
Yeah, Greenlee Wells has a great work ethic, and she's just been incredible all year long, according to Coach Brewer. And she's also a true country girl, is what he says. Greenlee loves to hunt and fish. So Oklahoma, perfect place for her.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. Marshall with an opportunity to bring Wells in. And the liner, is it going to be enough? It is just that. Great job. Marshall with the sacrifice fly. Greenlee Wells comes in to score, and Oklahoma Baptist now with its first lead of the afternoon.
I don't know who was more excited about that, Marshall after that sac fly there, or Wells coming in to score.
I'll have to watch Wells on the replay because I was watching Marshall and she was absolutely celebrating at first.
Ecstatic over there. I've never seen someone be so excited about an out.
Abby Laskowski, sophomore from Helmet, California. Yes, Helmet, California. There she is. She's stoked.
Talk about a team player. I love that.
2 down. A line to 3rd.
What a grab by Mershon.
Absolutely.
That was incredible. She's had a couple of those. Her reflexes there at 3rd base, top notch.
Take a look at it again, and then Alyssa, how big is that sacrifice fly by Nichelle Marshall to bring in Greenlee Wells, the Bison, after 4 complete. On top, 2-1 here in this conference tournament quarterfinal.
If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but strength, knowledge, and wisdom are what you build along the way. There's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, you write your own script to what comes next. So here's your cue. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
Looking things over, Coach Brewer checking things out. We're seeing if there are any adjustments, and it doesn't look that way. And of course, now we see the change coming in. So checking in for Oklahoma Baptist, Peyton Bragg is going over to first, and she replaces Michelle Marshall, which, by the way, again, going back to that previous half of the inning, Michelle has done her part today. Got the big run on the sacrifice fly, put that far enough out into left field that the throw was not going to be in time. Back to the top of the order now for Southwestern, Hewitt, McMahon, and Hook, and a shout out to the great Todd Miller, play-by-play voice of the Oklahoma Baptist Bison. For me to get to call a game with Oklahoma Baptist on the field and Todd Miller listening, that's a dream right there, Alyssa. So this is big time.
There you go. I'm honored to be here. Thanks for letting me put a headset on.
Glad to have you here with us. Shout out to Todd. And your Bison, Todd, are up 2-1 right now as Hesnett lays down the bunt, the throw, Schaefer, and it was picked off. And that's, I believe it's going to wind up as a hit. We'll see.
And again, they just made that change with Peyton Bragg at first. She went to cover the bag.
Well,
but so did the second baseman.
Yeah, but Davis stepped over, and the throw would have gone to Davis.
Yeah, Bragg
was in between
job,
the two.
Bragg's job was to come in.
Yeah.
She wasn't supposed to be covering, and she knew that.
Yeah.
But again, it's an interesting and an unfortunate event for Oklahoma Baptist when you're just out there for the first time in this game, and that happens.
So Hewitt reaches. Credit that as a single now. And McMahon, who has a single and a run scored.
One thing I've loved about this game is the variety that the offensive approach has had for both teams. We've seen base hits, we've seen sac flies, we've seen bunts, slap bunts, just really changing it up, doing their best, both sides, to keep this defense as off-balanced as possible. And it's why we've got a 2-1 ball game. It's been a pretty competitive game, and just try anything you can to get on the bases and then to score some runs.
Well, and it you know, to build on that too, these are players as the runner's going to second, the throw knocked away. Don't believe it would have been in time anyway, and now they get a runner in no man's land as Hewitt has to get back to second.
We've even had some stolen bases our direction too. Seen a little bit of everything. If we were playing GAC softball bingo, I think we'd have won by now. Don't you?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
I think you're right.
I'll get cards printed for tomorrow.
Oh, I'm ready.
Deal.
Okay. The point I want to make, too, was to add to that, Sammy Green, Morgan Max, Greenlee Wells, all can be power hitters. That's not been how either team has tried to go about this.
And that's
exactly. It's been interesting to watch.
It's a testament to their offensive approach as a batter, knowing I don't always have to hit for power all the time. I have a whole bag of tricks that I can pull out, and that just makes you a versatile player. It's what coaches love. It's what coaches recruit. But they don't want you to have just a one mindset when you step into the plate. They want you to be able to do a little bit of everything if you can.
Count goes full for Taylor McMahon. The junior's done an admirable job catching today. Let's see what she can do with the bat, and just kind of taps that over. Foul. Count will remain full at 3-2. Really, that was just about making contact and not missing. Wasn't the pitch she wanted, so she'll have another opportunity here from Schaefer. That one as well. I think that was the pitch she won. Reaches base with a single. It's enough to advance Hewitt to third. And now the Bulldogs could be in business here at the top of the fifth. Back-to-back singles, runners on the corners. Just enough to keep that in play. The previous pitch, just enough to make contact. But that was what she wanted and the direction she wanted to go with that hit. Jaden Hook now batting. Hook was out in the third on a fielder's choice, tried to bunt her way on.
We'll see what they want to do right here with runners on the corners if they want to try to steal second. You know, they haven't stolen often, just 49 attempts on the year, but they've been successful when they have. They've been successful 44 of those 49 times.
Hook finds a gap. One run will score. We're knotted at 2. Jaden Hook with an RBI single. Nobody out for Southwestern here in the top of the fifth. Nice look as Hook goes the other direction. Each of the previous 2 batters going opposite now. Riley Lusk batting with runners at first and second. Back-to-back-to-back singles for Southwestern. Lusk with 27 RBI on the year.
Wow.
Wow, what a grab.
What
oh my
catch.
Goodness, what a catch by Cook.
That's another one of those freshmen that they love over there at Oklahoma Baptist. I thought at first it was over her head. She looked like she had turned the opposite direction. Way to adjust your body in motion and get that catch. So impressive.
Full extension once again. Prepared to talk about Lusk's RBI total increasing, and it stays as it is. She had one back in the third. She won't get one there. One down, though, with runners at first and second. And to Jaden Hook's credit, she did what she had to do. You know, you run past the bases, and she had already rounded second. She had to go back to second, touch it again to go back to first, instead of cutting across the middle of the field. A heads-up play there. Little discussion now is Boleen, who has a single back in the second, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Southwestern not likely to be content with just the one run in this inning. You would think that the Bulldogs would want to get more out of this because the runners have been there, the opportunity is there. Again, credit to Cook, though. That's a highlight reel catch. One down. Here's the 1-1. That one fouled back. Sierra, the Bulldogs are rolling here in the top of the fifth.
You could say they cranked up the gasoline. They just started playing Gasolina by Daddy Yankee in the dugout. So I say they're feeling hot.
Do you know who that song is?
I just was really standing here hoping you wouldn't ask that question.
Well,
and
we've been
here I
picking
still
on you
stand
musically all day, so
hoping that you would not ask that. Nobody is going with my strengths here in 80s songs. Why is this not happening? Swing and a miss, and Boleen will take a seat, though. 2 down now with runners remaining at first and second. And the Bulldogs, again, 1 run in the inning, but the chances have been there. And Coach Brewer's going to come out and talk with Schaefer in the circle now. It's going to be a full-on conversation as everybody gets their name cards out and decides they're going to talk about this for a little bit. Southwestern taking the opportunity as well. You know, Alyssa, when you get the initial single from Hewitt, and obviously having a fantastic season, she steals the base. momentum right there. It's just, I mean, this textbook of the way this game has gone. Small ball, small ball, small ball. Is it a disappointment if you can't get more than one run out of this inning? For Southwestern, the opportunity's still there. I mean, 2 down. You get a chance now as Barkley comes to bat, but do you have to have more than one in this inning?
Oh, well, I think if you were to ask head coach Jessica Boone, she would say, yeah, it would be a disappointment because the way that it started with momentum, so many opportunities, the last thing you want to do is leave runners on base. However, you did get a run, you tied the game back up, you've got some momentum, and you're playing well. So as long as you can just continue to string together hits, it's going to come. You'd like for it to be in this inning if you're Southwestern, but you're still not upset with the way that this inning is played out.
Barkley has a single back in the second. She is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Struck out and was the 3rd out of the inning back in the 3rd. Doesn't want to repeat that here in the 5th. And the count goes to 3-0, excuse me.
I smile every single time that they hold off on those balls that are a little high because I could not, ever.
She's going to watch the 4th one, and she'll reach base. Base is loaded now as Barkley goes to first. Hook is at second. McMahon at third. And we have an adjustment right here as Southwestern's going to bring in Skyla McPhillips, 5'5" junior from Hera. McPhillips hitting .278 on the year. Started 35 games for the Bulldogs this season. He has 30 hits on the year, including 6 doubles and a home run and 9 RBI. Would like to add to that RBI total here if she can on the conference stage. Swings the first pitch, fouls that one back. Getting a feel. Looks like she may want to pull that. Cook preparing in left. That one across for a strike. And that had some speed to it. 0-2 with 2 down. Bases loaded for Schaefer. And here's the 0-2. Watch that just outside.
Just outside, but great discipline there to hold off on that one.
McPhillips fouls that one back. Count remains at 1-2. Nowhere to put her. Here's the 1-2. And that one fouled as well. Just a little behind each of these last 2 pitches. Schaefer not backing away. Schaefer's already seen what that defense behind her can do today to protect her. Here is the 1-2 again. Fouled back. Two down, key point in the contest, top of the 5th here. Can the Bulldogs get more than 1 run in this inning? That one a little high, 2-2. Phillips fouls that one back. Staying alive in this at bat, though. Pitch number 9 in this at-bat upcoming. And that one on the turf to second. The throw 4-3. Davis to Bragg is in time. The scoring threat ends. The Bulldogs do put 1 on the board. They get 3 hits in the inning as well, but unfortunately for Southwestern, they leave 3 on base too. However, it's enough to knock this up at 2 apiece. Midway through the 5th, Southwestern and Oklahoma Baptist tied at 2. One and 2 on the way for Oklahoma Baptist. And man, it is a pretty day here in Bentonville. If you don't believe me, just trust your eyes there. You can see it is a great day to be at the ballpark. Glad that we are here with you. Joy McWilliams along with Alyssa Orange and Sierra Clark.
We're in a treat for everyone who's watching this one, for the teams in the dugout, 2-2 right now, and it's been fun. It's had us on the edge of our seats today.
Absolutely. I don't think I've sat down that much at all. I'm standing up watching this one, excited about it. Davis batting. It's going to be Davis, Cook, and Hacker now in the bottom of the 5th. The sun's come out. I saw cameraman extraordinaire Keith Brown putting on some sunscreen a little bit earlier today. I don't know if it's going to be enough, man. Keith, it's a bright, sunshiny day. Well, Southwestern did a fantastic job in that previous half of the inning, just getting runners on base, one right after the other after another. Successful to get 1 in, and to Schaefer's credit and to the defense for this Oklahoma Baptist team, they held it just 1, but it was definitely the game plan coming in.
And there was a chance there where it felt like the momentum had really shifted to Southwestern, where there wasn't any outs recorded yet, and it could have been a bigger inning for them than it was. And so I'm sure that Oklahoma Baptist, not happy that this game is tied, but happy that it could have been a lot worse had they not been able to execute defensively and get outs when they needed it.
Absolutely.
Including, as we look at Cook, that incredible catch there in left field.
And Davis is in no man's land. They're going to catch her in a rundown. Absolutely. So the 2, 3, 6, maybe 4. 2, 3, 4, 6, I think is what they're saying officially up here for those of you who are scoring at home. And even if you're not, that's 1 out. Cook still batting after showing bunt.
Again, we had that bingo card. We'd be winning in bingo right about now.
Absolutely. But, you know, I think this is the kind of play that you expect from Kaylee Cook, from who she is as a player and what she's shown for Oklahoma Baptist this season. A fantastic year. She's received the recognition from the conference, as well she should. Second team this year.
And just a freshman, again. And I know we keep talking about that, but it is so hard sometimes to adjust just to the speed of the game, from the high school ranks to the college ranks. You know, people talk about that on the D1 level, but D2 and D3, I mean, you're playing with the best players in the country, and to be able to do that and hang and be able to compete as a freshman, whoever you are on whatever team you're on, is impressive.
Exactly. I'll go back to something that we talked about briefly in the first game today. I think it warrants mention here again. We talk about the 4 freshmen on this OBU team that are seeing time out here today, again starting here in the conference tournament, as Hacker will foul that one back. My take on this, you've already told me I have a bad take during this game, so maybe this one will be better. Freshmen are still freshmen until they're not.
Yeah.
And for all the freshmen out here, even though they have 50 games, give or take, you know, to their credit on their resume as a college athlete at this point in time, this is still their first game in the conference tournament, still their first postseason game. They're still a freshman here getting their first one out of the way. So, you know, sometimes people say, well, they're sophomores by now. No, they're not. They're still freshmen. There's still new things. There's still firsts here for them to experience. And I think these freshmen here for Oklahoma Baptist are doing a great job.
And this is where you lean on that regular season experience. You've been through the trenches. You've been through the grind of conference play. And now in a tournament where it's one and done mentality, you got to kind of take it up a notch. And that is where you have to hope that they lean on the confidence that they've built in the regular season to find success here. And I think, you know, you look at Kaylee Cook in left field, a great example of a player who believes in her talent, who feels confident, whether she's out there in the field or in the batter's box, regardless of whether she's a freshman or sophomore or what level she's at.
2 down, as that one will find the hole. And credit to Weedle for chasing that one down. Couldn't quite get to it in time. Dropped just in front of her. And the full count reward Hacker with a single. So a nice hit to left field, and Hacker will reach base. The half of the inning still in play now for Oklahoma Baptist, as Sammy Green now steps to the plate. Green again hitting .396 coming in. However, on the day she's 1 for 2, make it 1 for 3, as Weedle able to chase that one down with a little bit more ease. Fly ball to left field, 1 hit, no runs, 1 left on, and after 5 complete, we are knotted at 2 apiece here in the GAC.
I am inspired to lead.
I'm inspired to research. I'm inspired to care for others.
I'm inspired to shape the future.
I'm inspired to tell compelling stories.
I'm inspired to innovate.
I'm inspired to create.
I'm inspired to serve.
I'm inspired to be a champion.
I'm inspired to change the world.
What does it mean to be a Ranger? It means smaller class sizes, so you're seen and heard. It means graduating debt-free, like over half of our students. It means getting help when you need it through financial aid and scholarships, like more than 80% of our students. To be a Ranger, you're rowdy with excitement. To be a Ranger, you care about your education. To be a Ranger, you saddle up to a challenge and ride to success. Rowdy lives here. Rangers live here. Northwestern. Success lives here.
Back here in Bentonville, Sierra Clark has been keeping up with Southwestern over the course of the day. They've tied things up here, and they're leading things off in the top of the 6th with Mershon at bat. Sierra?
Yeah, SWOSU has a way to stay motivated. They have a piece of paper in their dugout taped on the wall that says bases, and it's an acronym for B, big inning, 3 or more runs, A, answer back, S, score first, E, extend the lead, and S, again, score with 2 outs. So they're staying motivated in this game.
Absolutely.
They've done a handful of those.
Well, if you can check everything off on that list, then you're doing all right in any game.
Almost had that one.
I had faith in you. I know you would have caught it.
I'd have caught it. There wasn't a net and a glass.
And you had a glove. Could you have barehanded that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have faith in myself for that.
1-2 the count now, as Mershon watches that one through now. 2-2. Bit of struggle today at the plate for Mershon. She's 0 for 2. Foul the third base line, back in the second. And foul to second base in the fourth. Or excuse me, a fly out to second base in the fourth. Mershon, Rimple, and Hewitt on the way for Southwestern. And that one stays in play, and nice job by Laskowski to step up and make the grab. One down. Hit it just high enough for Laskowski to have an opportunity to run, get underneath it. Avery Rimple swinging on the first pitch. That's foul down the left field side. Rimple reached base in the second. And left stranded. Lined out to third. Back in the fourth. Sun moving across the sky here in this first day of May. Happy May Day to everyone. Pretty much a perfect place right now for the batters. A really nice look at that ball. If you're in right field, which it's really tough to find anyone in right field right now. If you're in right field, this is going to be a tough one to catch, but don't worry about that if you're in OBU because there's nobody there.
I was about to say, I just realized they've got a shift on of sorts.
Absolutely. 5 in the infield now, no one in right field, and just daring Rimple to lay that down anywhere in the infield. Somebody has this covered. If she's able to pull this, I think she could easily be looking at 2 bases.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
That's where scouting comes in. You're basically daring her to go to the right side.
And there's where the scouting report pays off. Nice throw over to first. Credit to Ryan. So the 5-3 in effect, and that brings us back to the top of the order here. In the top of the 6th, Chesney Hewitt led things up in the 5th with a single, stole a base, and she did score. She accounts for the game-tying run at this point in time. That one popped up. It's going to be an easy grab for Davis. That is the case. First swing, and it is out number 3 for the Bulldogs. Top of the 6th in the books. 1, 2, and 3. Set them down. We'll come back with the bottom of the inning in just a moment.
Running outdoors, you got to take what nature gives you. We'd like to say we run when they don't. So we want to give you products to be able to run when you don't think you should run, when it's pouring rain outside, it's snowing. We're going to have products for you to get out there. You don't get better sitting on your butt not training. You got to get out there and run.
At Under Armour, it's always about premium textiles. They need to perform, they need to be the best. The merging of hybrid textiles with naturals and new seaming and bonding and super sleek, modern, fast, futuristic designs, that's where we are really going to turn it up a notch. If you look good and you feel good, you're going to perform better.
Maxwell's and Ryan on the way, and it's been a pretty good afternoon for Taylor There in the circle for Southwestern, she's held the Bison to just 2 runs. Can she keep that up? That is the question.
Taylor, 7 complete games on the season for her. She's done such a great job against this 2nd seed in Oklahoma Baptist, and if she can continue to stay steady, I think you can ride her in the circle the entire time and see if she can get you a win here and advance to tomorrow.
Max swings and pops that one high. Hook gets underneath it and makes the catch, 1 down. So Morgan Max will take a seat. He's over 2 in the afternoon. Greenlee Wells now batting. Had a double back in the 4th inning. Taylor on the year against Oklahoma Baptist, 1-1 this season. Took the loss in game 1 in their series and got a win in a 1-run game in game 3. By the way, both of those games in which Taylor pitched, it was a 1-run game. One going to OBU, one going to Southwestern.
1-run games, no strangers to Oklahoma Baptist. We talked to Coach about that before the game started. He said, I think, what did he say, 50?
He said he said like 18. There were 30 some odd, maybe 35 that were 3 or 4 run games, and then 1 or 2 run games that were like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
Which that's, a full 40% of your season. And he said that as Wells lines that right up the middle. She'll reach base and stand up for a single. He said that talking about the pressure and the stress of Division II softball, and just as he was making a point about the testament that Division II softball has just improved even in his time, in the 4 years he's been in Shawnee. And I think he's right, and you can't rest at any point as a head coach because those 1-2 run games, I mean, that's, again, 40% of your season right there.
I also think, too, as a head coach, you don't want those 1-run wins, but in moments like this,
having that experience,
you really want your team to rely on that experience to be able to say, you know what, we've been in these situations time and time again. We know how to find success. We know what it takes. And there's no panic. And you can tell, looking down at the dugout right now with everyone, there's no panic over in that dugout. There's no one hanging their heads. They understand they're right back in this game, or not back in this game. They're right in this game, just like Southwestern is. And they're going to figure out a way to see if they can pull this one out. Get their first GAC tournament win.
Cheryl, Marshall comes back in. Bragg took her place for a moment out at first in the field, and Marshall will come back to bat. Marshall with the big sacrifice fly back in the 4th inning. It's enough to bring in Greenlee Wells at the time. Wells is on first now. And Wells, like she might want to try to take second, thinks better of it. 2 down, 1-1 the count. That one, good job by McMahon to not let it go through in the turf. A little bit outside, McMahon won't let it go past. Wells was ready to take another base. Not going to let her look ahead. It's not going to be easy if that is the case. There's the 3-1. Marshall puts the bat on that one. Will it find the gap? It will not. McPhillips is there to make the grab, and that will end this half of the inning. Taylor, great work in the circle. The defense behind her doing their job. And Oklahoma Baptist, Wells gets on. She'll stay there. 6 complete. We head to the 7th here in Bentonville. GAC quarterfinal, 2-2.
SWASU has been saying that the focus is you for 20 years. Now that I'm here, I know my voice matters.
It's a true home away from home where the professors really
do put the focus on me and my dreams.
At SWASU, it feels like they are cheering me on, with so many ways to get involved, like social clubs,
Sports, quality academics, and great people who care about your success. For real, the focus is on you.
Open the door to your future at SWASU. Go Dogs!
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but there's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, every moment brings you one step closer to what comes next. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
Top of the 7th here as this one is knotted up. We have a tight contest, and this is the first time today going into the 7th that it has been tight. Our previous 2 games, the top, or at least the higher seed, one going away, including one run rule by Harding a little bit earlier today. That was done in 6. Top seed Southern Arkansas wins in 7.
Well, I'm ready for it.
Run win. Yeah, this has been exciting here, and it has been very deliberate. The pitching staffs, the offensive game plan, it's all come down to this. McMahon, Hook, and Lusk for Southwestern.
And I think if you're Southwestern, this is kind of where you want to be in the lineup. Of course, you'd love to start at the top with Hewitt, but McMahon has had a lot of production. She's one of the 2 runs scored here for the Bulldogs.
On the turf, 6-3 in time. Nice job by Wells. And by the way, it's going to be Marshall back at first base now, so she stays in after getting the at bat. Jaden Hook now batting, had a single back in the 5th. She's been on base twice, reached by way of fielder's choice back in the 1st. Been stranded at 2nd both times. That one is going to be playable, called for and taken by Davis. Again, another freshman for this OBU team, getting that experience. There's just nothing that can replicate the experience in the postseason.
No.
And I think that the way this contest is going, whoever comes out of this one today, it's going to be another tight game. And again, you're going to look back on it and say, we can do it no matter what. So Hook records out number 2. It's going to be Lusk now batting with 2 down.
I think you got both teams, too, relying on 2 separate things. Again, like we talked about, Oklahoma Baptist, that experience of those 1-run, 2-run games. I think for Southwestern, it's the fact that they've won 9 out of 10 games. It's their confidence that they're playing with right now and not being intimidated by playing the 2 seed here to open up this tournament.
2 down for Lusk. There's the 0-2. She washes it high. Needs to get on base here. That one is hit high. It is deep, but not quite deep enough. Kaylee Cook once again there for the catch. Will that be Southwestern's last at bat? We'll find out. Oklahoma Baptist coming to the plate. Bottom of the 7th on the way.
The professors care and they go out of their way to make sure that you are going to succeed.
Hi, I'm Alante. I'm a sophomore at Southeastern, and we help make this video.
At Southern Arkansas University, we believe success comes from grit, showing up every day, ready to face challenges head-on. It takes determination, pushing beyond limits, learning, growing, and leading with purpose. And it takes perseverance, because every setback is just another step on the path forward. That's why we were nationally ranked the #1 best small public college in Arkansas by niche. Southern Arkansas University. Grit, determination, and the ride of a lifetime.
Laskowski, Davis, and Cook 8, 9, and 1. And really, there's the number for OBU. They just need one. 2-2 now in the bottom of the 7th. Taylor continues to be in the circle for Southwestern. Abby Laskowski. 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out back in the 2nd and line out to 3rd base back in the 4th. So she leads off here in the 7th. Ground ball finds its way into center field. Laskowski will reach, and the Bison have what could be the game winner, representing the game-winning run at first.
It looks like they're going to pinch run here for their catcher. Try to get some speed on the base pass as they look to win this one in the bottom of the 7th.
Haley Stanford will check in now. Stanford, a junior, a 5'6" junior from Wilburton. And she's played all 3 years here at OBU. The former Digger. By the way, there's a good name, the Wilburton Diggers.
Add it to another list. These mascot names just keep getting more and more unique.
Kaylee Davis now to bat for Oklahoma Baptist. Game-winning run at first. Davis, and that one hit her. She'll come back, fouled off of her. She'll get another opportunity. So Stanford at first. Davis, here's the 0-1, shows the bunt again. That one goes a little bit farther, and no one decides to pick it up. Taylor stepped away. And as Lusk came in, she had the momentum, didn't pick it up. Miscommunication, and now there are runners at first and second. And Stanford at second, Davis at first.
And that could be costly there, and that's just where communication really comes in, and maybe the fact that she's a freshman and backing up. I don't know why she didn't go after that, keep going after that one there. But, man, that's the break Oklahoma Baptist needed. We'll see if Southwestern can get out of this.
It's credited as a hit. So Davis with the single, back-to-back singles, and the runners on first and second now. And you go back to the top of the order with Cook. And we know that she has speed once she gets on base. She just needs to get on base for Oklahoma Baptist right now. Cook hitting .392 coming in. She has 21 RBI on the year. Cook with now 66 hits this season. That includes a triple earlier today. Her 8th triple of the year. Just needs to get on base right now. Shows bunt, lays that down. Lusk is there to throw to first in time, but the runners will advance. One down now for the Bison, but runners in scoring position at third and second. Stanford at third. She is ready, representing the go-ahead run and the game-winning run.
We have talked about this all game. Any means necessary to move base runners, to get runs, small ball, line drive, sac flies. A really impressive sequence of events here for this OBU offense.
Haley Hacker with one down. Watches that through. The freshman from Prague.
And I'm surprised the offense or the defense here for Southwestern isn't pinched in a little bit more.
They're in some, but they're not that much. Now the pitch to the outside by Taylor. You're exactly right. They've crept in a little bit, but it's not a massive shift in where they regularly stand. Stanford at third. the freshman, Haley Hacker. The swing puts that into right center, and this game is over. RBI single for Haley Hacker. Stanford scores. Oklahoma Baptist wins and advances. And for the first time in GAC softball tournament, the Oklahoma Baptist Bison pick up the win.
What an incredible game. And again, gosh, we've talked about it all game long. Freshman, freshman, freshman. You have a freshman there in Haley Hacker who steps up big and gets that run in to give them the win.
A credit to Taylor. What an afternoon she's had. Hard work for her, but this Bison team ultimately comes away with a one-run victory, and you know what? We should have expected that from these two teams when it all came down to it. One-run win for Oklahoma Baptist, and the big thing for the number 2 seed is that the Bison do survive and advance. So they will move on to play on Friday against the winner of our final game of Thursday, the 3 seed and the 6 seed. It's going to be Southern Nazarene and Arkansas Tech. That is our next game here on the GAC Sports Network. But Alyssa, yeah, we should have expected a one-run game.
You think that OBU right now can kind of have a sigh of relief? You talked about the fans. That's one thing they've thought about. They don't get wins in the GAC tournament. They get one here in one-run fashion, and just impressed with the offensive approach that they had. We talked about it, the small ball, the long ball, the sack flies. It's just really impressive that they were able to put it all together, and then the freshmen stood out the most to me.
Absolutely, and now don't get wins is a thing of the past. That's past tense, as now Sierra Clark has an opportunity to visit with Coach Jace Brewer, winning coach for the Oklahoma Baptist Bison. Sierra?
We're actually getting Haley Hacker over here. She had that go-ahead hit. Right over here, we'll look over there. And so you're just a freshman, and so what was the what was going through your head as you were set to hit?
Keep it simple, stupid. It really was. The KISS method is really big, and it's also my grandfather's birthday that passed away, and so I was just saying for him.
That is awesome, and so this was a very close game throughout, and so what was the mentality throughout your team in the dugout as you guys battled through this game?
Whatever it takes. That's kind of been a thing. We said it last week, whatever it takes, whatever it takes, diving, bunting, getting hit by a pitch, just whatever it takes.
All right, well, congratulations, and get ready for the next one.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Sierra. And Coach Brewer is going to go ahead and say, listen, we'll take this one in the house. We'll take this win. We have a little bit more time to rest and go get some food tonight. So dinner's going to be good now for Oklahoma Baptist as a Thursday night meal comes following a win. A 3-2 victory for the Bison. Alyssa, final words?
Yeah, I'm just really impressed with how both teams played, and I think both teams came in here knowing they had the ability to win this game, and for the battle that we saw on this field, I don't think you could ask for better softball this afternoon.
Oklahoma Baptist 3, Southwestern Oklahoma 2. That is a final. Game 3 now in the books here on this quarterfinal Thursday from Bentonville, Arkansas. One more today. So come back for our 3-6 matchup, Southern Nazarene, Arkansas Tech. That is next on the GAC Sports Network. For Sierra Clark and Alyssa Orange, I am Joey McWilliams. Thanks for watching. God bless you.